What's up, guys? Welcome back to the CK podcast, How to Do Real Estate in 2023. And today we just want to go ahead and discuss how interest rates are affecting the housing market. And then number two, we're going to discuss the market report, inventory, months of availability, etc. And then we're going to discuss the home buying process and home selling process. Okay, let's start with number one, interest rates. Clark, how are interest rates affecting the housing market today?
Yes, it's definitely leading to a slowdown in the housing market, not just in the Las Vegas market, but in all the markets, all the major markets. With interest rate at the beginning of the year at 3%, now we're at 7.2%. It's definitely sidelining a lot of buyers and a lot of investors, because if you're buying an investment property, it's even higher.
Yeah.
So now if you're taking into consider profit and loss, you're not going to be that profitable right away if you're buying that. So that's the attitude of buyers today. It's definitely a lot more expensive too on the mortgage, on the monthly mortgage side. So that's why it is affecting a lot of it is affecting the market. So what do you think about the interest rates? What is it gonna go up this year, or?
Well, like what we've mentioned last time, I think you guys have mentioned it. By the end of the year, I think it is gonna go up. I don't know how far off. I would say because right now, like you said, it's at 7.2. I mean, it's already November, so I think that it will probably still go up. I think they were saying like about 8%. Is that correct? Is that accurate?
The Feds are gonna have one more meeting, and it might go up to 8%. But the question is a lot of people are asking, is there going to be a housing market crash?
Oh, crash. The experts are looking at no crash. I think it's because 2008, there were lenders are more careless about approving a lot of buyers. like I mean, as long as you're breathing, you're approved for a house, sort of thing.
Ninja loan, no income, no job, no asset loans. Ninja.
Exactly, there were this adjustable rate mortgages. There are, you are locked in for 3 years and you don't know what interest rates you'll have after that.
I don't think there's going to be a crash. I think there is a correction, which is I think prices have gone up sharply and unsustainably the past couple of years, being in 2020 and to the beginning of 2022. It just went up unsustainably so fast. So I think now the market is just correcting right now.
Yeah. What do you think, Kuya Jun?
Yeah. Yes. Experts say it is correction. It's doing a correction from previous. There's, as you said, experts doesn't say there's going to be a crash at this time.
Yeah.
But then we go to the part where we do have a lot of buyers. We do have a lot of potential buyers that ask. I'm pretty sure you guys get all these questions as well. But for our viewers as well, why do we think, or is it a good time to buy a house when the interest rate are at high as this at this time?
I think it's a great time to buy a deal, to find a deal right anytime. A great time. If you find a deal, go for it. I remember a couple of years ago, probably March, April of this year, when a buyer is trying to look for a house that's within the average price, it's getting beat out by a lot of cash buyers. There's like 30 offers. When I had listings, I had like 10 offers, 20 offers, and just one listing. I had like people showing my properties 20 times a day and getting multiple offers on that, and it's just crazy. So interest rates were like 2.8, 2.7 at the time. So now think houses are on the market for a while now.
Yeah.
So you're not seeing that happening. So if you're a buyer right now and if you're trying to find a house that you really want, now's the time to look for it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think there's better deals out there right now. Definitely easier to negotiate with the sellers.
Price wise, there's a lot of sellers who are willing to contribute towards the buy down of interest rates. I had a buyer who's taking in $40,000 back, and he's using it as a 3-2-1 buy down for interest rates. So it is I think it's a great time to buy right now.
I think so
You
too.
find really good deals. Now, while we're on it, what's the status of the market today, Jeffrey?
Status of the market today here in Las Vegas. Here's what's going on. So last October, this is based on October numbers. Last October, we've sold our single family units. There's 1,724 units that were sold at a median price of 440,000. I think it was 450 last month. Is that right? Or is it the same? It's about the same.
It's about the same.
It's about the same.
Even the what you call it, the units available around the same. There's not much significant difference on that one.
Yeah. And new listings 2,883, and the median price of new listings is 467,999 with 4.6 months of inventory. Wow, that's a lot. So we're pretty much almost in a balanced market. A balanced market is about what, 6 months?
Yeah, 4 to 6 months.
4 to 6 months.
It's a balanced market. So, if you're under 3 months, you're kind of in a seller's market already. I remember when it was 0.5 months.
Wow, the houses are selling after 4 days.
After 8 hours, you got 2 offers.
Oh my goodness.
I've got offers before
because there's not a lot of houses to select from.
Right. All right. So moving on, for condos and townhouses, there are 468 units that were sold at a median price of 266,000 units. For new listings, 684 at a median price of 272,450 with 3.8 months of inventory. Actually, condos are out there. They're
doing better.
I mean,
they're good for investment too.
Yeah, good for investment. It's cheaper. I mean, if you're a new investor, I think condos or townhomes are the way to go. Or, if you're a first-time home buyer and you don't have a lot of, cash saved for now, I mean, condos, it's better to be a homeowner than renting.
Case to case, sometimes condos, HOAs are pretty steep. And they don't have
That's
yards. So it depends, but it's always still better to be owning it than renting it, because once you're renting, then you're paying 100% interest.
Right. All right. So, okay, let's move on. Home buying process. I know I have a lot of questions about the home buying process. Sometimes they don't even know the difference between the lender and the realtor. So, Clark, can you tell us about the home buying process?
Yes. So if you're looking to buy a house right now, first thing you want to do is talk to a realtor, who would refer to you a lender, a really good lender. Make sure you have a really good realtor and a really good lender. So the lender will now run your credit. They will check your debt to income ratio. They will check your, so debt to income ratios, they're going to check how much money you're making, how much debt are you paying, how much are you paying for student loans, how much are you paying for, car loans, boat loans, and things like that. Child support, if you have that. So they're gonna check that versus how much money you're making, and how much down payment you have. So for example, if you're making $10,000 a month and your debt, your monthly debt that you have to pay, including credit card loans, states $2,000 a month. So that means you got $8,000 kind of net, right? So that means the lender may, depending on how they qualify you, they may say that you're okay with purchasing a house that has a mortgage of about $4,000 a month, something like that. depending also on how much down payment you're getting. If you're getting a pretty high down payment, then they're gonna tell, okay, this would be the amount. You're qualified for a $500,000 house. If you're coming out with a higher down payment, okay, you may be qualified for more. So that's how they compute your how much you're pre-approved for. Not all lenders are the same. Some have stricter criteria, some have more lenient criteria, but it's important to have a really competent lender for that. So let's say once you get pre-approved for the loan, the lender has verified your income, your employment, your credit, then you're ready to look for a house. So if I'm the realtor, I'm gonna assist you, try to get into the nitty-gritty details of what kind of house you're looking for, what's the location, what's important to you in a house, what's your long-term plan for this house, right? And then if you're looking at the house, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check for obvious safety issues that I've seen in a lot of houses. I want to check, are they maintaining the AC? Are you changing the filters? Are there any leaks that I'm seeing? And then I'll tell you, is there anything happening on the community, right? Anything good or bad happening on the community? What if they're building a dump site on the back of this house, right? I would have to check, and I would let you know what it is, right? So you can make an informed decision if you're gonna put an offer on this house or not. Right. So let's say you find a house that you like, right? Then I'm gonna make a net sheet. This is how much your monthly mortgage would be based on the annual taxes of this house. This would be how much your down payment closing costs would be. So if that's the house and you're okay with that, my job is now to try to make you pay as less as possible, right? So I'm gonna try to negotiate, depending if there's no other offers or not. If there's multiple offers, then you'd have to pay more. But if there's no other offers, for example, then we're gonna try to negotiate for price. We're gonna try to negotiate for closing costs, right? So let's say you put this offer in, and the seller might do a counter offer at higher price or less closing costs. Then I discuss with you. Then we can send them another counter offer until we come with an agreement, that the seller and the buyer would meet together, right? Then we start escrow. So the title company will now send you instructions on how to send an earnest money deposit. Earnest money deposit is typically 1% of the purchase price. So if it's a $500,000 house, it's like $5,000, right? You send that to the title company, and that will be deducted towards your down payment closing costs at the end, right? So let's say you bought that house. They accepted your offer. You sent the earnest money deposit. We usually have a 10 days of due diligence period. That due diligence period is the time where you would do your due diligence on the property. If you could drive by at the house there at night, and if you don't like what you're seeing, you could back out. You can back out for any reason during this due diligence period. If you go there at night, you see a ghost inside the house, you could back out, right? So that's also the time that we do a home inspection. So home inspector will come in and look for things that we didn't see. So they're gonna check the roof, check the attic, check all appliances, check all outlets, check for leaks, check for electrical issues. They're gonna check the breaker, they're gonna check the irrigation, and give us a report. Now, what if we did the inspection and we found some major issues, expensive issues, like say there's a underground leak, or there's the AC is not working, right, and needs to be replaced? Then you could back out and get back your earnest money deposit as long as it's within your due diligence period. What if it's not that major, but we've seen some issues? We can ask the seller to repair it. If the seller says no, we're not going to repair it, you can back out. If the seller is motivated, the seller could say, okay, here's $2,000 and you can fix this all. Then you can move forward, something like that. So let's say you move forward from that. What we're waiting for now is the appraisal contingency. So appraisal contingency is usually within 21 days of the contract. This is where the appraisal comes in. So the appraisal will look at the property. Number one, make sure that it's a safe property to move in. And number two, make sure that the price is justified. All right. So if let's say the property is safe to move in, let's say the price is lower than the purchase price. So let's say your purchase price is 500,000, it will appraise at 490. Because you have an appraisal contingency, you could back out because of that. Or before you do that, we can negotiate with the seller again. Hey, this is the appraisal report. I only appraisal 490. Please lower down the price. If the seller says yes, I'm lowering it down to 490. You can move forward. Sometimes you can meet in the middle, depending on how bad you want this property, right? So so if it appraises at 510, for example, the purchase price is still going to be at 500. So you move forward with that. Now, there's also a loan contingency. It's usually between 25 to 28 days. This is where the lender has to fully approve your loan, right? That you have to be clear to close. Now, if something happens that you, like say, you lose your job, right? Then you can't qualify for the mortgage. You don't have income to pay the mortgage. Right. Then you are denied for the loan. You could back out within that contingency period and get back your earnest money deposit, or yeah. So that's where so. But let's say after that, let's say you got approved for a loan, and then the day before closing, you had the cold feet. You say you didn't want the house anymore. Then you have no recourse but to give up your earnest money deposit. That's that. Also, it's important to make sure that when you're applying for the loan, that you don't do anything to mess up your credit. Don't do any major purchases yet. Don't co-sign for a car. Don't co-sign for a house, because then your debt to income ratio would change and it won't be approved for the loan. So that's that. Unless you're purchasing cash, then you don't have a problem with that. You don't have if you're purchasing cash, you don't have a problem with appraisal or a loan, right? So let's say you have a loan, you got approved. You're gonna sign papers now. We're gonna check the estimated settlement statement, make sure that everything's good. You're not overpaying for anything. You're not paying extra for anything. If that's okay, then you're gonna sign the documents, right? Then you're gonna give the rest of the down payment and closing costs to the title company. Once you wired it, the title company will now ask the lender to wire the rest of the loan. So say you're giving 5% down, the lender will now give the 95%. If all funds are in, the title company will now send it to the Clark County Assessor Office or Recorder Office. Once your name is recorded as the new owner, then you get to have the keys for the house, and you're now the newest homeowner at that minute, right? So that's that. So all in all, from start of contract to closing is 30 days. This is for a resale house. New construction would be different. We'll discuss that on the next podcast. That can be time consuming too. So that's the process of buying a house. There are differences. There are problems that comes along. Let's say title issues, problems with the HOA, litigations that could happen that can change that. But it's all on a case-to-case basis. Not all transactions are the same.
Cool. Right on. And in contrast, Kuya June, can you just walk us through the process of selling a house for those who want to sell their house soon?
So we've heard Clark's buying, when you're buying a home, the steps. I know it does sound there's a lot, but that's why we're here to guide you through those steps to make it easy for you. So selling your home. So usually when you're selling your home, when you give us a call and be like, hey, thinking about selling my home. So we actually go to your house. We want to do this in person. We want to look at your property because that's the best way that we can assess. We can't just look at pictures. We want to be there. And then also we would look, once we look at your home, we would assess the houses that are in your neighborhood, close by to your neighborhood, that's similar to your home, so that we can come up with the best price, best strategy to sell your home. After that, After we've come up with a price, then we present you a net sheet. So basically, a net sheet. At the end of that net sheet, it tells you how much you're gonna gain after you sell your home, right? Also, you will be stated over there if there's any repairs. We would allot for repairs. If there's no repairs, let's say your home is brand new, then we would give back. Those. It's just a what do you call this? It's just something that we put in there. We allot if just in case there's any repairs, stuff like that. We would also write down over there any fees that we could come up with. But as I said, if those are not used, then it basically goes back to you.
Yeah, for obvious repairs, it's best to take care of it at the start. Then after, because if you do take care of it at the start, it gives a great impression to the buyers. It says that this is the seller is responsible. It's a responsible homeowner. They repair things that needs to be repaired. So it gives a good impression to the buyer that's looking at your house.
Yeah, I've had a few buyers before where once they go inside the house and they look at the inside, and if they feel that the seller is very responsible, clean, and all that stuff, it's usually a plus for our sellers, right? So once we come up with that, you agreed with the net sheet, then we sign an agreement. After we sign an agreement, we set up for photos. We set up for cleaning the house. We do glasses. We do minor repairs at this time if needed, and then that's when we market the house. We decide on a date to put your house in the market. We put in the MLS. Usually when we put in the MLS, it throws it to Zillow, Realtor, Redfin, whichever websites that are there to sell home. It should show up. Also, we would market into our Facebook pages. We do have a lot of followers,
thousands of viewers.
Yeah, so a lot of them too are also looking for homes. So it's a great potential to look for buyers at that time.
Yeah, and it's important. Once you mentioned about the photography, it's important to have good lighting, good photography, good house is clean, windows are clean before we take the photos. So we present the house in its best light as possible. If you have let's say you have a multi-million-dollar house that has a view of the strip, then we have to take drone videos so we can feature the best things about living in your house. If you live near a park, we take photos of the park too. So we could highlight the features on that house.
Yeah. So once that's there, we would once your house is in the market, we would provide updates. Weekly updates, any showing updates, people that are looking at the pictures on the MLS, they would leave us comments. We would let you know what they think about it. Also, anything that's going on around your neighborhood that could affect the price of your house, then we would update you, especially with the market right now too. Some houses are lowering their prices. We would tell you. We would advise you on what to do to be competitive with those, to be competitive in your community while selling your home. Once we receive offers, we would let you know. We would let them know. We would let you guys know what the pros and cons with those offers. At the same time, every offer that we receive, we would call the lender, their loan officers, to verify the qualification. We would ask them, hey, how's this person's credit? How's their income, employment, you name it, just so that if you do choose that offer, that it is a strong offer, that it's going to go through all the way.
Yeah, this is because not all lenders are the same. They could send you a pre-approval, but then they haven't even verified anything. They just base it on something that this buyer has said without verifying anything, without having the right paperwork for it. So those are the things that we check for before we present this offer to the seller.
Yeah. Also, we do have some cash buyers as well. So we would call their bank if that's what's needed, just to make sure that we got proof of funds as well. All right. So then just before you accept an offer, we would try to negotiate with them, and then with the buyers, make sure we dot our I's and cross our T's, right? And then we would guide you in selecting those offers as well. And then when when you are in contract, then what we would do is we would still get backup offers just in case this offer that you got don't go through. You know.
We'll keep marketing the home
Yeah.
until it's sold.
Definitely, yeah. So basically, all in all, our goal is to make sure that your process of selling your home is as smooth as possible, right? For everything. Then
Yeah, and there's lots of problems with selling properties, with buyers, inspections. There's title issues. Like what if the buyer had an issue with with income and they didn't verify. A lot of times they had a divorce or something like that, and the buyer's ex has to sign. So issues like that come up a lot. So like I said, not all transactions are different, but
Yes.
we've experienced a lot that we've dealt with most of these issues in terms of selling probate, in terms of selling guardianship sales, vacant lands,
1031.
1031 exchanges, those fun stuff. So yeah.
All right. Well, that would conclude this episode, guys. Again, thanks for watching.
If you want more of this stuff, hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll keep bringing out to you. If you have any questions, put them on the comments.